Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another great episode of BroBryceGardens. My name is Bryce L. Tomlinson, and you're now here in the new BroBryceGardens in Sparks, Nevada. Today, I wanted to show you a few things with my garden, and I want to do these one video at a time so I can kind of do like an overview of each one, and I'll release these videos sort of as a series. Anyway, thanks for waiting so long. It's been a long time before I was able to actually get a garden established here. And so this video and the series is going to be about apartment gardening. So, as you guys know, when you live in an apartment, you really don't have a yard per se, and unless you have access to a community garden or if your apartment complex has a garden space, then then you're usually confined to whatever you can do with house plants or something. So today, I'm talking about what I'm doing on my patio, and so I've got a number of things which I'm going to show you sort of one video at a time, and it's just barely getting established here. And this is my garden barrel. I made 5 garden barrels back at the old place with the greenhouse, and this is the one that I brought with me. I now have a PVC. It's a rubber plug for the top, and that comes off a lot easier than the regular sewer drain plug that used to be on top of there. What I've got in the barrel right now is 2 ghost peppers. Surprisingly, I found these ghost pepper plants for $3.99 at Ace Hardware, and I will say that their plants are very resilient. As you can see, I've got a couple of tomato plants. These are cherry tomato plants that I got at another store, and they're starting to do okay, but they really have a hard time with the cold in the spring. So our spring has been pretty cold, and the plants that I've got from Ace Hardware, I don't know what they're doing over there, but they're really, really resilient. They're doing well. They get a little mopey sometimes in the cold mornings, but they spring right back up, and that kind of gives me a good sign that they're, plants that are going to really be able to bounce back. And you can see that these ghost pepper plants have lots of little buds on them, which is promising to me, because back in Portland I could not hardly get a single bud to appear on a ghost pepper plant, and I had 3 ghost pepper plants in Portland, and never got a single ghost pepper off of them. Anyway, so this barrel, what I've got in here is a 60-40 composition of perlite, mostly perlite, to some organic soil from Sunshine. And one thing that I noticed about around here is, the soil around here is really arid, so there's not a lot of things that you can do with the soil that's here. And one thing that I noticed was that most of the soils that are available here, as I know John Kohler from growingyourgreens.com has stated before, in places where the ground is pretty arid, sometimes it's hard to get quality soil that isn't sourced from, dumps or reclaimed sewage or things like that. And some of the organic soil that they sell around here is sourced from those kind of places, so you get really stinky stuff. But if you are, and like John, I always say, deal with what you can deal with. Deal with what you can afford. For instance, I'm using a plastic container here, and some people swear off using plastic. But one thing that I found that's really nice, even if you're using this kind of soil, it's really kind of stinky, but we have a worm bin, right? And the worm bin that I brought down from Portland is doing amazingly well. You wouldn't believe it. I'll show you at another time. But the castings, using the castings from the worms and planting cocoons here from the worms, the worms just clean that stuff right up. So anything stinky you have, if you got a worm bin, they will clear it right up. So those of you that are familiar with these garden barrels, this in the center here is a compost tube. It is drilled with a number of holes, and I'll show you that. Let's see if I can get this, do my one-handed fail technique. If you look down in here, let's see if we can get a good shot down in here. You see little holes here and here and here. They're drilled all the way down the inside of that pipe, and what that's for is for the worms to travel into and out of the tube. I guess I just tore that leaf. Sorry. Anyway, the worms will travel in and out of the tube to get the compost. So I take my scraps and I blend them up and I feed them to the worms, and I feed whatever's left into this tube, and the worms that are born into this place that are hatched out of those cocoons will go into that tube to feed. And in a very short period of time, there will be probably like 1 million worms in this thing. They live in the dirt and they go into the tube for food. Don't get it confused. The worms don't necessarily live in there, but you will find them in there quite often. Anyway, so as you can see, it's a heavy composition of this perlite, and the reason why is because when I had it really loaded down with a dense soil type thing, the plants, the pepper plants, unless they were right on the top level or two, they got their roots waterlogged and they got sick. So I'm trying to keep it where it's well watered, but it definitely dries out, it drains out properly. So you can see I've got my watering system here. This is sort of a temporary setup. I just got it set up yesterday, and I'm using some leftover parts from the last time. And over here, I've got a rain drip watering timer. I don't know. What do you guys think about these watering timers? A lot of times I see these water timers, and some of them blow up. I've had them blow up on me, or they just lock on and they don't turn off. And then down here, I've got the Clean Water Fun filter to take out the chlorine and some of the particulates. Clean Water Fun is just a really affordable thing, filter that just kind of does the job. And I've got a regulator up here and a backflow, and then I've got the adapter down there. And these things are relatively easy to hook up, but I will recommend one thing. When you hook up your watering system, make sure you use plumbing tape. You can get this at Harbor Freight real cheap. Use plumbing tape on every single joint. Makes a difference. It'll keep you from having to do a lot of things more than once. Anyway, that watering system, I got it set up to just water right now every 12 hours for 3 minutes. And part of that is because these irrigation, these emitters that I have here, for some reason, they just pour out. They don't really, it's not like a slow drip. I may have to replace these. So, but for now, it's fine. It'll do fine. I can water for like 3 minutes for, every 12 hours. And then, because we're not in direct sun, this spot here is the only spot that gets any direct sun, and it only gets it for a few minutes. But we are in a really dry, hot climate, so everything here is probably still going to get mega hot, even though it's not in direct sun. Anyway, I just wanted to show you the beginnings of my garden here, and I'll talk about some of the other stuff you see over here in the next videos to come. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'm glad that you guys stuck with me, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great day. If you want to see the next video, you can either, if you're on mobile, you can click that eye over there in that corner, or the next video will appear up in that corner, or the previous video will be over there. And you can subscribe by clicking up there or on the little eye thing over there. Anyway, have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.